Hi, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video I'll be going over the syllabus. So first of all, this is contemporary math, and first of all, normally we get back to students within 24 hours. Normally I'm really good about getting back pretty quickly, but if for some reason I don't get back to you within 24 hours, please resend your email. You won't offend me at all. But again, I'm usually pretty good about getting back to students. So my name is Scott Smith, and notice Scott is spelled with one T, and that's why I have a nickname of 1T. My email is scottsmith@dallascollege.edu. My phone number is 972-677-8940. So basically, if you want to reach me, email works great. If you want to have a conversation, you can call this number. You can text that number, but I have had some issues with the texting, so it's probably better to use the email. My office is located in the J building in room 127. I will announce my office hours in the first week. And if you need to get a hold of the division office, there's the information there. All right, let's go down to the course information. So this is Contemporary Math, Math 1332. Your section number is 22G12. So that's what differs our section from other sections. This is spring 2023. We meet 12:30 to 1:50 on Tuesdays and Thursdays in room K245. Certification date is Monday, January 30th. I'll talk more about that shortly. And then the last thing here is, if for some reason you need to withdraw during the semester, I would encourage you to, well, first of all, it has to be done by April 13th, but also encourage you to talk to me and any other advisors before you do that. In fact, if you're dual credit students, I think you don't really have a choice there. So, all right, I think that's all I have to say about the first page, syllabus. So this is the description of our course, and we have student learning outcomes, and then what we call the Texas Core objectives. So these are things that we like to see our students in all our courses throughout the college gain. Things like critical thinking skills, basically things that are going to make a difference for you after you leave the college. So I would encourage you to read through the things on this page, but I won't spend any detail or time on it right here. So required course materials. The main thing to know is we'll be using this book here, Thinking Mathematically, plus my math lab with integrated review. So basically your book is online, and you're going to be doing all your assignments other than the tests in a program called My Lab Math. And so it's basically a software program. It's great in the sense that it has a lot of resources in the program. And let's see, what else do I need to let you know? So obviously it's important that you have a computer. Hopefully you can work on assignments at home, because you're going to be doing a lot of work on the assignments. Not really registering, but the first time you enter My Math Lab, you're going to go through eCampus, and you'll click on the Lessons and Assignments link, and then you'll click on one of the My Math Lab links. And normally at that point, I think you have to agree to the license or something like that, and then you're into the homework. I'll be giving I'll make a video that's a video tour of eCampus and My Math Lab, so I'll show you all that. In this course, we'll be using a TI-30XS multi-view calculator. So hopefully that's something that will be provided by the school for you. That's what I'll be using in class. This is the calculator we use because when we do the financial chapter, there's a lot of formulas that are like fractions within fractions, and those can be challenging to put into the calculator, so this calculator works really great. If you're using some other calculator, it's just important that you're going to be able to manage those formulas. So we can talk about that more in class. As far as graded work is concerned, your homework is 15%, your quizzes are 10%, tests are 60%. Notice there's 4 tests, so that's basically 15% per test, and the final is also 15%. As far as grades are concerned, we use the traditional grading scale, so 90 to 100% is an A, and so on. Let's look at the description of graded work. So I'll go into a little more detail here. So homework will be assigned in my math lab to practice the material learned in each section of the textbook. Basically, as you're working through the problems in my lab math, which we also call my math lab, you're going to know if your answer is right or wrong. And if you get a wrong answer, normally you have access to a solution. So you just got to be careful. If you find yourself clicking on the help buttons every time you do a problem, that's a pretty good indication that you haven't learned the material. From the notes that we do in class, hopefully you'll be able to do most of the problems. But if you're having to click on help buttons, just be aware that's an indication you need to study more, certainly before the test. The other thing is I always recommend that students do their work for homework on paper, so in some kind of a notebook, so that when you have a quiz to take in my math lab, you can study, or you can look at the homework and study, maybe things that you needed to work on more. The other thing is when you're ready to prepare for a test, it's nice to be able to go back. I know that when I was a student, I would make notes of certain things I wanted to make sure I didn't forget, or things that I knew I needed to work on more. But that would be my encouragement for you when it comes to the homework. Quizzes, you'll have quizzes, and basically what you're going to see is problems from multiple sections. And if you're able to do the problems on the quiz, that's a pretty good indication that you've learned the material. If you're struggling on the quizzes, that's an indication that you're going to need to study more. Notice you can take your quizzes up to 2 times. You're going to have 60 minutes to take the quiz, and the quizzes are 10% of your grade. Tests, we talked about the fact that there's 4, 60% of your grade. Notice you can only take tests once, and they will be given in the academic testing center outside of class time, and we'll talk about that when we get to the time when we got to take test 1. Final exam. There is a comprehensive final exam. It's actually 32 questions. It'll be 15% of your grade, and the final will be given during finals week. All right, let's move on to the late homework policy, or late work policy. So it says homework or quizzes should be completed by the due dates on the course schedule and in my math lab. So you'll see it on our schedule, which is at the back of the syllabus, and also when you're in my math lab doing the homework, you'll see those due dates. Late assignments receive a 25% deduction up until the test has been taken. So all the assignments for test 1 can be done anytime up until you take test 1, whether it's late or not, but after that you can't go back. So make sure that you're staying on top of the homework. That's really an important part of being successful in the course. Notice as far as tests are concerned, normally you're not going to be able to take a test late. So if there's some reason why you're going to miss the day of the test, it's important that you talk to me, or if you don't make it the day of the test, you should contact me right away. As far as communication's concerned, let's see. You'll see announcements in eCampus, and whenever I send out an announcement, it'll go to your email. So it's important that you're getting those emails. So if you're not getting those emails, you're going to want to check your email in eConnect and make sure that that's correct. Also, if you can connect it so that your emails come directly to your smartphone, if you have a smartphone, that makes it a lot easier. Like for me, anytime you send me an email through eCampus, it goes directly to my phone, and so I don't miss things generally. The only time if I miss something, it's because there's just a lot of emails. But again, I'm usually pretty good about getting back to students. We already talked about how to get a hold of me. When you send me an email, if you could just put in our class number, that's always helpful, especially at the beginning of the semester. Attendance and participation. So I have to certify students as attending on January 30th. So this is the minimum requirement to be certified. Basically, you've got to enroll in my math lab and attend at least once the first 2 weeks. So that's pretty minimal. On the other hand, in order to be on schedule, you can see that you need to be up through quiz 2, or should have completed the assignments through quiz 2 by Sunday, January 29th. Just really encourage you to get off to a great start. Make sure you're getting your assignments done on time. And if you're having any problems, let me know. As far as homework, I always recommend students get at least an 80% average overall. All right. So just a couple more things right here. Institutional policies. You should click on that if you haven't seen the policies of our college about things like tutoring, disability services, class, if you have to drop a class, or repeating options. There's a lot of information there that you should be familiar with. And I think that's about all I have to say here. Last thing we're going to do is look at the schedule. So you can see that the schedule is laid out by week, and I'm normally really good about sticking to the schedule. So notice the first week we've got a couple of assignments here. These are like transitioning to college is an optional thing. Entering answers in my math lab, same thing. The intro to the multi-view calculator, you may want to look at that if you are having any problems using that calculator. And then notice the first 4 assignments for the week, or for the first week. That's 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3, and quiz 1. All of those are due by Sunday, basically before midnight on the 22nd. Let's see, so you can see things are laid out pretty clearly here as far as when things are due and what's due each week. And again, you'll also see that in my math lab. Notice your first test is going to be in the 4th week, and you can see the deadline is Friday, February 10th. Alright, so I think that gives you a pretty good feel for what's expected in this course. If you have any questions or anything's not clear, just let me know. Alright, that's all for this video.